Welcome back to the Philomath channel, where small ideas create lasting transformation, and daily actions quietly shape extraordinary lives. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most powerful sections of Atomic Habits by James Clear. From chapter 7 to chapter 11, we move beyond motivation and into mastery. In this journey, you will learn why self-control is not about strength, how your environment and people shape your behavior, why bad habits exist in the first place, and how consistency, especially when it feels boring, is the true secret to long-term success. This is not about changing everything overnight. This is about understanding the invisible forces that shape your habits every single day. Listen slowly, reflect deeply, and allow these ideas to reshape the way you live, work, and grow. Let us begin. Chapter 7: The Secret to Self-Control or Design Your Environment. In this chapter, James Clear reveals a truth that challenges everything we believe about self-control. The most disciplined people are not stronger than everyone else. They simply design their environment, so they don't need to rely on willpower. This chapter changes how we understand control, temptation, and consistency. Let us begin. Why willpower is overrated. Most people believe success comes from self-control. They think, if I were stronger, I would do better. But James Clear explains something important. Willpower is unreliable. It fades when you're tired. It weakens when you're stressed. It disappears when life becomes busy. Relying on willpower is like swimming upstream forever. The smartest approach is to change the river. Environment shapes behavior more than motivation. Your habits are not just a result of who you are. They are a result of where you are. If unhealthy food is visible, you will eat it. If your phone is nearby, you will check it. If distractions surround you, focus becomes difficult. James Clear teaches that behavior follows visibility. What you see, you repeat. Make good habits visible. The easiest way to build good habits is to place them directly in your path. Put the book on your desk. Put your journal beside your bed. Put your workout clothes where you can see them. When a habit is obvious, it no longer requires motivation. Your environment reminds you to act. Make bad habits invisible. Just as visibility strengthens habits, invisibility weakens them. If you want to stop scrolling, remove the app. If you want to stop snacking, don't keep junk food nearby. James Clear reminds us, you cannot fight temptation forever, but you can remove it. When cues disappear, habits lose their power. Self-control is a short-term strategy. Here is one of the most powerful lessons in this chapter. People with the best self-control rarely use it. They design their lives so temptations don't constantly appear. They don't sit in rooms full of distractions and rely on strength. They choose better environments. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Every environment has a behavioral signal. Every space sends a message to your brain. A bedroom can signal rest. A desk can signal focus. A couch can signal entertainment. When one space is used for everything, habits become confused. James Clear encourages us to assign clear purpose to each environment. One space, one behavior. Clarity creates consistency. What we learn in this chapter. Learners, from chapter 7 we understand that self-control is shaped by environment. Willpower is limited, design is powerful. Visibility strengthens habits. Removing cues weakens temptation. Smart environments reduce struggle. This chapter frees us from blaming ourselves and teaches us to redesign our surroundings. How we practice Chapter 7. Now learners, let us apply this wisdom. Choose one habit you want to build and one habit you want to reduce. For the good habit, make it visible, easy, and obvious. For the bad habit, make it invisible, difficult, and distant. Do not rely on motivation. Change the environment. When the environment changes, behavior follows naturally. You don't need more discipline. James Clear leaves us with a quiet but powerful truth. You don't need to become stronger. You need to become smarter about how your life is structured. When habits are supported by environment, discipline becomes effortless. Chapter 8, Make it satisfying or the secret to making habits stick. In this chapter, James Clear reveals something critical. If a habit is not satisfying, it will not last. You can make a habit obvious. You can make it easy. But if it does not feel rewarding, your brain will not repeat it. This chapter explains why habits fade and how to make good habits stay with you. Not through force, but through satisfaction. Let us begin. Why the brain repeats what feels good. Your brain is designed for one primary purpose: to repeat behaviors that feel rewarding. Every habit you have, good or bad, exists because at some point, it provided satisfaction. Bad habits often feel good immediately. Good habits often pay off later. And this is where most people fail. They choose habits with delayed rewards and expect instant motivation. But the brain does not work that way. The problem with delayed rewards. Good habits usually feel difficult now, but rewarding later. Exercise is hard today, but beneficial months from now. Saving money feels restrictive today, but freeing in the future. Bad habits are the opposite. They feel good now, but cost you later. James Clear explains that habits stick when the reward is immediate. If the reward is too far away, the brain loses interest. Make good habits immediately satisfying. The key lesson of this chapter is simple. If you want a habit to stick, attach a reward to it. Not a massive reward. Not something expensive. Something small. Something immediate. After you finish studying, allow yourself a short break. After exercising, enjoy a relaxing shower or music. After writing, check off the habit on your tracker. That feeling of completion matters. The power of habit tracking. One of the most effective tools James Clear introduces is habit tracking. Seeing progress is satisfying. A check mark. A streak. A visual record. Each mark becomes proof of consistency. You are not just doing the habit. You are becoming the kind of person who shows up. And your brain loves visible progress. Never break the chain, but don't panic if you do. Tracking creates momentum. You don't want to break the chain. But James Clear also reminds us of something important. Missing once is not failure. Missing twice is the danger. Perfection is not required. Recovery is. Return to the habit as quickly as possible. Consistency is built not by never falling, but by always returning. Make bad habits unsatisfying. Just as good habits need rewards, bad habits need consequences. Bad habits survive because they feel easy and rewarding. To break them, remove the reward. Add friction. Add accountability. Add discomfort. When a habit stops being satisfying, the brain lets it go. Identity is reinforced through satisfaction. Every time you complete a habit and feel satisfaction, you reinforce your identity. You are not just exercising. You are becoming someone who cares about health. You are not just reading. You are becoming a learner. Satisfaction locks identity into place. This is how habits become who you are. What we learn in this chapter. Learners, from chapter 8 we understand that habits repeat when they feel rewarding. Immediate satisfaction is essential. Tracking builds momentum and identity. Consistency matters more than perfection. Bad habits fade when rewards disappear. This chapter explains why discipline feels hard and how to make it feel natural. How we practice chapter 8. Now learners, let us apply this chapter. Choose one habit you want to build. Then ask yourself, how can I make this satisfying right now? Add a small reward. Track your progress. Celebrate consistency, not results. Do not wait for motivation. Design satisfaction. When habits feel good, they stop feeling like effort. Chapter 9, the role of family and friends in shaping your habits. In the previous chapters, we learned how environment shapes behavior and how satisfaction makes habits stick. Now, in chapter 9, James Clear reveals another powerful force. One that quietly shapes our habits every day. The people around us. Our family. Our friends. Our community. Whether we realize it or not, we imitate the habits of those we belong to. Let us begin. We are wired to belong. Human beings are social by nature. From the very beginning of life, belonging has meant survival. James Clear explains that our habits are often not chosen individually. They are copied socially. We adopt behaviors that help us fit in, be accepted, and feel connected. Belonging often matters more than logic. We imitate the clothes. The first group that shapes our habits is the people closest to us. Family and close friends influence how we eat, how we speak, how we spend time, and how we respond to stress. If the people around you value learning, you are more likely to learn. If they value health, you are more likely to care for your body. Habits spread quietly. Through proximity. We imitate the many. The second group that influences us is the larger group, the majority. When a behavior becomes normal, we stop questioning it. If everyone checks their phone constantly, it feels natural. If everyone procrastinates, it feels acceptable. James Clear reminds us that normal does not always mean good, but normal is powerful. We imitate the powerful. The third group we imitate is those we admire. Leaders, role models, successful individuals. We copy not just their habits, but their identity. We believe, if I act like them, I can become like them. This is why role models matter deeply. They shape what we believe is possible. Belonging can help or hurt growth. James Clear makes an important point. One of the most effective ways to change habits is to join a culture where the desired behavior is normal. When a habit aligns with group identity, it no longer feels like effort. You don't have to push yourself. You feel supported. But the opposite is also true. If your environment discourages growth, progress feels lonely and difficult. Identity and social reinforcement. Habits stick best when they are socially reinforced. When your behavior earns respect, approval, or belonging, it becomes deeply rooted. This is why changing habits sometimes feels risky. Growth may challenge your current identity within a group, and that discomfort is real. What we learn in this chapter. Learners, from chapter 9 we understand that habits are shaped by social environment. We imitate those we are close to. We copy what feels normal. Role models influence identity. Belonging reinforces behavior. This chapter teaches us that habits are not just personal. They are social. How we practice chapter 9. Now learners, let us apply this wisdom. Ask yourself, who do I spend the most time with? What behaviors are normal in my circle? Who am I becoming by association? Then take one intentional step. Spend more time with people who live the habits you want. Join communities where growth is normal. Distance yourself, not emotionally, but behaviorally, from patterns that hold you back. Your habits will follow your environment. Choose belonging that builds you. James Clear leaves us with a quiet but powerful truth. You don't rise alone. You rise with others. Choose circles that encourage discipline, learning, and growth. When your habits match your tribe, consistency becomes natural. Chapter 10, How to Find and Fix the Causes of Your Bad Habits. In the previous chapters, we learned how environment shapes behavior, and how people around us influence our habits. Now, in chapter 10, James Clear takes us deeper, past the habit itself, and into its true cause. Because bad habits are not random. They exist for a reason. And when you understand that reason, change becomes possible. Let us begin. Every habit solves a problem. James Clear introduces a powerful truth. Every habit, good or bad, exists because it solves a problem in your life. Bad habits are not mistakes. They are attempts. Attempts to reduce stress. Attempts to escape discomfort. Attempts to feel relief, pleasure, or control. The habit is not the enemy. The misunderstanding is. The real cause is the craving. Habits do not begin with action. They begin with craving. You do not crave scrolling. You crave distraction. You do not crave junk food. You crave comfort or reward. You do not crave procrastination. You crave relief from pressure. The behavior is only the surface. The craving is the root. When you fight the behavior without understanding the craving, the habit returns in another form. Why awareness changes everything. James Clear explains that you cannot improve a habit you do not understand. Most people try to suppress bad habits with willpower. But awareness is more powerful than force. When you pause and ask, what problem is this habit trying to solve? You gain control. The moment you understand the need, you can choose a better response. Reframing the habit. One of the most important lessons in this chapter is learning how to reframe habits. Instead of saying, I have to stop this bad habit, you ask, what do I actually need right now? Rest? Connection? Relief? Stimulation? When you meet the real need in a healthier way, the bad habit loses its purpose. Replacing, not removing. James Clear reminds us, you don't erase habits. You replace them. The brain does not like emptiness. It likes solutions. If you remove a habit without replacing the reward, the craving remains. But when you substitute a healthier behavior that satisfies the same need, change becomes sustainable. What we learn in this chapter. Learners, from chapter 10 we understand that Bad habits serve a purpose. Cravings drive behavior, not logic. Awareness is more powerful than willpower. Understanding the need weakens the habit. Habits are replaced, not deleted. This chapter removes shame and replaces it with understanding. How we practice Chapter 10. Now learners, let us apply this wisdom. Choose one habit you want to change. When the urge appears, pause and ask, what am I really craving right now? What emotion am I trying to change? What problem am I trying to solve? Then choose a healthier response that meets the same need. Not perfectly. Not forever. Just this one time. Each moment of awareness weakens the old habit and strengthens the new path. Self-compassion accelerates change. James Clear quietly teaches us something powerful here. Change does not begin with self-criticism. It begins with self-understanding. When you treat habits with curiosity instead of judgment, your mind becomes flexible. And flexibility creates growth. Chapter 11, Walk slowly, but never backward. In the previous chapter, we learned how to find the real causes of bad habits and replace them with healthier responses. Now, in Chapter 11, James Clear takes us to a deeper challenge. Not starting habits, but sticking with them. Because the real test of growth is not excitement. It is boredom. Let us begin. The hidden enemy of progress. Most people fail not because they lack motivation, but because they lose interest. At the beginning, change feels exciting. New habits feel fresh. Progress feels visible. But eventually, the novelty fades. The workouts feel repetitive. The studying feels slow. The routine feels ordinary. And this is where most people stop. Not because it doesn't work, but because it becomes boring. Professionals versus amateurs. James Clear makes a powerful distinction in this chapter. Amateurs work when they feel motivated. Professionals work even when they don't feel like it. Professionals understand something important. Consistency matters more than mood. They do not wait for inspiration. They show up because showing up is who they are. Mastery is not built by intensity. It is built by reliability. Why repetition feels uncomfortable? Repetition exposes us. It reveals our impatience. It reveals our desire for quick results. It reveals our need for excitement. But growth often happens in silence. Progress compounds invisibly. Until one day, it becomes obvious. James Clear reminds us that boredom is not a sign to quit. It is a sign that you are doing the work most people avoid. Fall in love with the process. One of the deepest lessons in Atomic Habits appears here. If you only love the goal, you will quit when progress slows. But if you love the process, results become inevitable. The process is where identity is built. The process is where discipline forms. The process is where confidence grows. Success is not a moment. It is a routine. Never miss twice. James Clear offers a simple but powerful rule. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the beginning of a new habit. Life will interrupt you. You will fail sometimes. That is normal. What matters is returning immediately. Do not spiral. Do not punish yourself. Resume the habit. Forward motion matters more than perfection. What we learn in this chapter. Learners, from Chapter 11 we understand that boredom is the real test of consistency. Mastery requires repetition. Professionals show up regardless of mood. Progress is often invisible before it's visible. Recovery matters more than perfection. This chapter teaches patience, discipline, and quiet strength. How we practice Chapter 11. Now learners, let us apply this chapter. Choose one habit you are working on right now. Commit not to intensity, but to returning. On hard days, do the minimum. On boring days, show up anyway. On busy days, protect consistency. Ask yourself, can I walk slowly but never backward? That mindset builds mastery. Becoming the person who doesn't quit. James Clear reminds us that identity is shaped by what we do repeatedly. Every time you show up despite boredom, you reinforce a powerful identity. I am the kind of person who continues. That belief compounds. And eventually, what once felt difficult becomes who you are. As we come to the end of these chapters, remember this. You do not need more motivation. You do not need more willpower. You do not need to be perfect. You need better systems, better awareness, and better consistency. From designing your environment, to choosing the right people, to understanding your cravings, and continuing even when progress feels slow. These chapters teach us one quiet truth. Success is not loud. It is built silently. Through habits repeated when no one is watching. Walk slowly. Stay patient. Return when you fall. Never backward. If this video helped you gain clarity, like it, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Philomath for more insights that turn knowledge into action. Remember, your habits are shaping your future. One small choice at a time.